is about a rule in IBGP. Let's say until unless. So anybody wants to try, or should I go on? Mira?
Yeah, so the synchronization rule states that a router, which is a BGP router, it should not advertise the route which it has already learned from IBGP to the routers which are external to it, unless it is learned by it from the external router. Like if it has learned it from the IGP, it should not advertise it to the external routers. Only advertise it if it has learned it from the external routers or the nodes, which are like.
So I mean, it is trying to reach there. Let me draw something to make it clear. Okay, let's say, yeah. So as a matter of fact, what it is, it's an IBGP rule. So what that rule states is that if NAS learns the prefix from EBGP. So I have learned the prefix from EBGP. I shall not announce this to other ASs unless this route or this prefix has not been redistributed in IGP, which let's say is OSPF. So say if I learn a route through EBGP link, I will not send it out to other people, other ASs which are connected to me until unless that EBGP has not been, whatever the prefix is, has not been redistributed inside IGP. Now, this rule is conditional. So I'm putting this route is conditional. There are certain conditions. If they are there, then you would do no synchronization. In your lab, you might have done no synchronization. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if they have not changed the lab, you might have done 3 IBGP options.
Yes, 3 routers.
Yeah. So in one of them, you might have done no synchronization. In others, you might not.
For full mesh, we did.
I think we put on all the routers no synchronization and no auto summary.
Okay. Okay. So Meridani was, trying, and she was flipping a couple of terms, replacing them, but that's what it would be if you want to say in words. So if an AS learned the prefix from EBGP, it should not announce this to other ASs unless this prefix has not been redistributed, has been distributed, right? If I'm using unless, has been redistributed in IGP. So to make it clear, let me draw a picture. Let's say I'm AS200. I have AS100 and I have AS300. So This is the border router here. 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 And let's say somewhere here, I have a network. Let's say I have a network, something like this. I have an eBGP neighborhood with this. And through this neighborhood, I'm writing too many things here. eBGP. So I learned this through this. And inside, just to make it a little bit clear, I have router R1, router R2, router R3, and connected. And now this is connected to this AS again through eBGP. Let's say if what I'm learning is that, and let's say this I have to put in something like next hop. Let's say my next hop is this one, something like let's put 2.2.2.1. Oh, that's okay. Something like this. Just a simple. So this is my next hop. So I learned that through this, and inside here, you should remember that you have two things. So you have an overlay and underlay. So you have IGP and you have IBGP. So this information about 170 is coming to you in IBGP. It's coming to you in IBGP. Let's say inside your IBGP is this. If your IBGP is this, that will also tell you why we need full mesh to start with, unless we don't try other options in IBGP. I will also make this clear. Sometimes we will not focus why, because if I have two links, if I draw the third link as well, which is here, oops, I would draw with the green, make it consistent. And if I draw this third link as well, now I will be full mesh. If I'm a full mesh, I do not need synchronization. I do not need synchronization. So let's say I'm not full mesh, just for the sake of discussion. Okay. If this is the case, then this 170 will be going through BGP. So 170, I'm keeping 170 green, will come here, would come here. And let's say it's spoken out to AS300. Let's say it is spoken out to AS300. It reaches here. Now, when it starts to come back, good. Oops, no, it's not changed. I want to change the color. Yeah, when it wants to come back, it will come back here to this. Now from here, I'm looking for next hop of, right? So because inside this network, inside AS200, as we have seen the examples of the attribute next hop, it has been told that next hop is 2.2.1. But when I come here now, I cannot go from this router R2 to R1 and beyond if I do not know next hop for 170.0.0.0. So me learning this green thing, speaking out is not an issue, but if to whom I have sent this information wants to use it, when it would come inside AS200, because I told them that I can take you to 170.0.0, which is an AS100, they would need the next hop. Now, next hop is a feature related to IGP. What we have done in here is we have moved just in the overlay through IBGPs, okay? And we don't have full mesh. So R1 and R2, they are not connected. I cannot jump from R2 to R1. Then I have to go through R3. Then I need that next hop feature to take me to there. Because I never created coordination between the overlay and underlay. So I'm coming in green. I want to use IGP next hop, but I never coordinated when I received that route. Now I want to go back. I have no connection. So that's why they say when you are receiving 170 and you have been here at R2, you want to speak to AS300, do not speak. First, make this not red, make it green. First, create that coordination, and that coordination is called redistribution in IGP. Oops. So redistribution. So now IGP also knows. So what it would know with this coordination, IGP will also know about 170 and how to get it, how to get to it. So if I have to go from R2 to R1 and I have to route through this network, then as we have seen in examples of next hop, then I can use that next hop to hop through this AS200. So that's why the BGP rule says that synchronization rule says, if I learn some route from external, something like 170, I should not speak it out to another external AS300 in my example, until unless that overlay route has been redistributed in the underlay. Why? Because if the AS300 to whom I'm speaking this prefix has to reach out to this, and I do not have full mesh, it will not be able to do. But if I do have full mesh, let's say, if I do have full mesh, so then I do not need it because I can reach directly from R2 to R1 in green. I do not need to go to my black underlay. So in the lab, if you are having full mesh or you are maintaining the spirit of full mesh, that is one hop connectivity, either it's through full mesh through router collector or through BGP configuration, you will not. So why this rule is there? This rule is there in case somebody does not make full mesh, then there should be no disruption in the operation of BGP in that sense. That's what, so you are covering an extreme situation. But if I have a full mesh or one hop connectivity anyway in any shape or form, it could be in the shape of full mesh, it could be in the shape of router vector or BGP configuration. So I'm preserving one hop connectivity, then I will not be needing synchronization. So why I want to disable synchronization? Why I want to disable synchronization? Because number one, I do not need it. Oops. If full mesh is there, full mesh or one hop connectivity in any shape or form is there, right? So I will not use. So you would say, okay, why don't you keep it there? Because it is very resource intensive. It will take a lot of CPU usage and other resources. So if I have a full mesh or a notion of full mesh, then I put no synchronization. I say, listen, I do not need this overlay information to be redistributed in the underlay information because I have a full mesh or I'm one hop away. So if someone comes back, and this is my example, AS300 through AS200 to AS100, there should be no problem. But if I don't have, then there would be a problem. And that's where the synchronization becomes handy. And in a as big network as internet is, so somewhere these conditions might not be fulfilled, and that's where the synchronization will come into picture.